Hi, I am Bran, and I love HBO Max Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I despise HBO Max Christmas movies.
I'm Alonzo, and release Batgirl, and this.
Stack the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
New favorite intro.
Are you, Alonzo, are you under the impression that it was between this and Batgirl?
I'm just saying,
If
we
you
didn't
can
get Batgirl,
release
we
this.
did get this.
Yeah. It's not an either or. It should be a both and or not either. Or
Hey,
Yes.
Danny HBO, quick, pick one. Pick one.
One's a Christmas mystery. It did cost $10 to make. The other one is Batgirl. It is completed.
It's complete. It costs millions of dollars.
Completed though. Done.
Finish.
What do you want?
Big stars in it.
Yeah.
Give me the mystery.
You sure people might get mad? There'll be any pushback?
Danny HBO is probably like me and thought this was a real mystery movie.
Yeah, Danny's pissed. I will say.
Dan and Danny, both of us, we're upset. We're upset.
Guys, yeah.
Actually, I should probably say release Scoob 2, because this is, if nothing else, like very close to being a Scooby-Doo movie.
Scoob 2.
Zoinks.
Zoinks. Happy April, everyone. Happy April to you, Alonzo. We are getting closer and closer to a lot of fun things. We've got Christmas Con in June.
That's
We've
right.
got Bramble Fest
In July.
We've got Christmas in July.
Yeah.
A lot of fun
Man.
stuff is coming up, and
Big
really,
summer.
we're just kind of kicking the can around until we get
Yeah.
there.
We'd
But
love to tell you March and April are where the big boys play, but they are not.
yeah,
They are
This
not.
is we're vamping, basically.
we really are.
Yeah.
And so what you get,
We
you get
roll out a Christmas mystery.
similar to HBO Max. They're like,
in April and March, we've covered a Unicorn for Christmas, a Shudder movie, and a Christmas mystery. That is
Christmas Mysteries April. We're turning over a new
I
leaf.
said in March and April.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
What else did we do in March?
Nothing. Oh, we did the Christmas #1.
Christmas
Yeah.
#1.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Casablanca compared to everything else we watched.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Well, I guess
You can watch our misery live on Philo.
that's
not
true.
live.
Sure
We're not
can.
live. You
We're
can't
not
watch
live.
it live on Philo. Bramble Jam Plus, you can watch it live. But
Yeah.
every time, if you want to watch it on tape delay,
That's exactly
Watch
right.
it live.
That's exactly right. There's not a lot of mystery in this movie, and there's
Mm.
not a lot of mystery about what the best streaming service is. It's Philo. Philo.tv/DTH. Did you like that? What I did?
that was really good. I didn't know where you were going, but
I
you nailed
actually just came up with that right now.
Man.
That wasn't even sent over from Tammy Philo. That
Wow,
was something
Tammy
I
did
came
not
up-
send. Sometimes she
That was-
say, read me some of the ones she has sent you.
1 for the money, 2 for the show. Get some Philo and go.
It's a good one.
Which also I
That's
don't
really
hate.
Good. That's good.
To be fair,
There
I
was
don't.
Another one you really. There was another one that you really liked. Tammy.
Do you? Do you need your yard work done? Oh, sorry, that's from somebody else. Philo's great, guys. Philo.tv/DTH. You can watch
this
the
was
show.
worth my whole
You can watch
day.
the show. So up until this point, your day is been-
Shot. But this was great. Yeah.
You also, if you're watching on Philo, get to see, I think, something that hasn't happened in
the history of ever.
at
3
least
hosts,
since.
3 collared shirts.
Wow!
We are doing it.
Did I pop it?
Pop.
I'm gonna pop.
Ooh.
Just to kind of mess things up.
Hey,
I'll pop,
James Spader.
I'll pop and I'll unbutton. How's
Mm,
this? Is this good?
That is not great. Dude,
Don't
you
love it.
look like an alcoholic.
Well,
Who's
I have
about
a
to
meeting
play
to talk
golf.
to you about something.
Oh my goodness.
There's a reason we haven't heard from Screwball in a while. A Christmas Mystery originally dropped on HBO Max on November 24th,
With a
2022.
FUD.
To the sound of Thanksgiving dinners across the country being shoveled down so they could turn on their tubes and watch a
We gotta
Christmas
get this
Mystery.
Christmas mystery ASAP.
Hold the gravy,
Who
Ma.
are you?
Uh,
Bells. It
It goes a little something like this. Went a little something like this. A narrator tells us about Jimmy Stubbins.
Jimmy Stubbins.
Jimmy.
That is also a Deck the Hallmark character.
Yes.
But this is a different Jimmy Stubbins.
And by character, you mean real life
like,
person.
yeah, one of the correspondents we have. Yeah, of course.
Jimmy Stubbins.
Jay Stubbs.
And the original, the Golden Jingle Bell. So, long time ago, the spirits were down in this town on Christmas Eve. And Jimmy
The mill was
Stubbins.
closed. No one had any money or jobs.
Yeah. Jimmy Stubbins wasn't getting jack squat for Christmas.
That's right.
He is woken by the sound of Santa's.
He's woke? Is that what you said?
Dude, Stubbins.
He was so
Dude,
woke.
he was ahead of its time. He was a leader of a movement. Stubbins was woken.
Awakened.
Awakens.
There we
Awoken.
go. He said woken twice.
Hey, can I ask you?
I tried to help him the first time. He was like, nope, going back to woken. Well, that's where I'm going.
What about awoken?
No, awakened.
Awakened.
It's never
Gosh.
awoken.
Never awoken.
See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You guys. This is why we're never gonna change. He looked out his window and sees some golden jingle bells that had fallen from Santa's sleigh and are now hanging on a tree. And so he goes outside, makes a wish. This kid has the the forethought to he could have wished for anything upon Santa's bells, and he wishes that the mill would reopen so we could go back to their mill jobs. And
Playing
it
a long
works.
game, Jason.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's something that not enough people do with the genie wishes, like the long game. Hey, give me a stable job that will pay ends meet.
It'll pay.
Hey, ends meet.
Yeah, awoken. So it works, and the town is thriving, and people start coming from all around the world, the country, to see the bells displayed in the mill. Pleasant Bay is the name of the town, and people freaking love Pleasant Bay, and they love these bells. Cut to present day, and the bells are on display in a museum. Kids are touring it and hearing the story of the bells, hearing the story of the thing that's literally the reason why their town is still around. This kid named Reggie is being a real Dan and is like, oh, but hey, there's no such thing as Santa. Kick rocks, Reggie. There's this girl named Violet who's like, Reggie, shove off, bud. We don't need it from you today. We like these bells. These bells are awesome. Reggie then almost gets crushed by a statue head, but Violet's friend Kenny's dad, guys got it?
Yeah, we got it.
He saves the day, unfortunately. One morning, Oscar from the office goes to unlock the museum and finds that the bells are missing.
What? Looks like we got ourselves a
Christmas mystery. And so guess who they think did it? Old George Bottoms. That's Kenny's dad, the guy who
no relation to Jimmy Stubbins.
no
What about Boom Diggins?
no relation to Jimmy Stubbins.
Okay.
So that's the guy who saved Reggie from the statue head, and they think that guy stole the bells.
Yeah.
He was a custodian type thing
he's
at
like,
the museum.
worked
So
at
he
the
had the
museum.
keys, and he also stole something once.
A long time
So
ago. That's right.
do the math. Violet doesn't believe that George Bottoms did it. And so she and Kenny put together a little mystery board to go and try to find out what happens. So they immediately accuse, for my money, the only minority in this town, Oscar from The Office. He's suspicious because he's putting the museum donation money in a manila envelope. So she walks out of the museum. He walks out from the museum in a leather trench coat
And a fedora.
and says, I got a good haul. I'll be there soon.
Carmine San Diego.
Come on, bud. So they follow him, and they see him give the money to a random woman. Turns out all above board.
Charity. Yeah.
Charity.
Not the same money.
Not
Different money.
charity.
Yeah.
So the mystery continues, and they're looking at things, and they're turning over rocks and whatnot. But the real smoking gun in this case is some security cameras that Violet has her dad's the chief of police.
Yeah.
And he obviously has cameras all over his house.
Sheriff.
Sorry, sheriff. And he has cameras, and so they have a camera that shows somebody in a hood, the bells and whatnot. The problem here is this guy's shoes are white.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about George Bottoms, which we do,
he
only wears black shoes. Now you might be asking yourself, Self, if everyone knows that George Bottoms only wears black shoes, don't you think it would behoove him to wear white shoes if he was doing some sort of crime? Yes. But in this case, all above board. It's not some sort of trickery. It is exactly as it seems.
They are who we thought they were.
And we let them off the hook. They do know somebody who does wear white shoes with 2 stripes. And it is the deputy.
The mayor's son.
Yes, who's also the deputy.
Did not shoot the deputy.
It didn't shoot the deputy. The mayor's son. And so they try to figure out how he did it. Luckily for them, there's an underground tunnel all throughout the city that makes it super easy, barely inconvenience to hide the bell, to get the bells and then hide the bells without anybody knowing. So they believe that the bells are in the school. They search high and dry. George Bottoms was a basketball coach.
Did you know that?
So George Bottoms was a basketball coach. And the deputy mayor's son was on his staff, but he got fired. And so they're looking around the school and they decide, hey, maybe we should go to the trophy case because he was a basketball coach.
That's not actually what they go to the gym area and they're like, we're going to look around. And then, Kenny falls into the trophy case and they hear the bells ring.
Wow.
But they do search the gym because of the basketball game.
That's right. Yeah, they go to the gym. But
so the reason that I had, they got there. They found the bells. And so what they decide to do is to take the bells, put them in her bag, hide a little bit. The deputy then comes in and he's walking up to the trophy case, calls in, hey, I found the bells, because he's going to be a hero.
Yeah.
I found the bells. Come on over to the school, everybody. He did that before
he actually
getting the bells.
Yeah,
so he calls it in, and then he goes to grab the bells. The bells are gone, and he's like, what? That's when Violet comes out and is like, hey, we know what you did. Also, I have this video of you calling it in before you even see the bells, proving that you took the bells. And he's like, give me that phone. She throws the phone to her brother. Her brother runs, goes down in the underground tunnel. And
to her sister. The sister gives it to Kenny's brother.
Yes.
Did you watch the movie?
This movie's like Tenet. It's really hard to, nail down the whole.
Some people are going forward. Some people are going backwards. They're wearing armbands. Like, you just got to watch.
They end up in the tunnel, and they end up putting the deputy. They trick them into going into this place that has a kind of like a jail, honestly. And so it wasn't even the phone in there. It was a big old tricky dicky. So, so that's what happens there. The bells are saved. They go to the Christmas tree lighting. Everybody's happy, and the mayor tells his son that he's proud of him. And that, my friends, was the Christmas mystery.
Man, I have always thought your synopses were not great, but I've been awakened to the reality that you are really good at this, and that was one of my favorites of all time.
They are a highlight of the program.
Yeah,
the program.
The first part of that was facetious. The second part was not. I love the synopses all the time, but this one in particular was wonderful. That's what I'm trying to say.
File under doozy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
All right, I got to get my doozy envelope out. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about this.
Envelope in your pocket.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Interesting.
Yeah. I also keep my Donesy envelope in my pocket as well, so I know which ones to stay away from.
Don'tsies. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Like awoken, you would take the don'tsies out and you write that down because it's not a word. And then I think at some point,
if you can believe it, my don't see folder is completely empty.
At some point, you said that they search high and dry, which I don't think.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah,
I don't think that. They can't. They come up high and dry.
Well, it's awesome too to live in a world where you never make a mistake, Dan. Welcome back. We're talking about the Christmas Christmas mystery, one of many.
Yep.
Let's get to the hot take where we share exactly how he felt about this movie. We do not hold back. Alonzo, you never been one to hold back before. I would encourage you not to hold back today. What do you think about A Christmas Mystery?
I shan't. I will say the thing this movie has going for it is that it is from the team that brought us I Believe in Santa, same writer, same director, and that's
what it has going
same little girl too.
Same star, and it's better than that one. So like if I came into this cold, like not so into this movie, it's kind of stupid. But having seen I Believe in Santa, by comparison, this one comes off much better. Like y'all said, this was a $10 movie. I Believe in Santa is like $4.99 top. That said, like if you wanted to have a whodunit for small children with very few suspects, I suppose, this is that. It's not much of a Christmas movie, though, apart from the fact that they're in pursuit of Santa's bells. Like there's not much Christmas happening here, and not even just in the brand, bombard me with, garland and lights and snowman shaped benches, but like just in general, it seems like an afterthought. Like this is a dumb kiddie mystery and they just made it around the holidays. So yeah, it's pretty mediocre, but it is no I Believe in Santa.
The brand's gonna push back on the fact that the Christmas alone and I Believe in Santa makes it better.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yep.
It is more of a Christmas movie than this is. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, this movie's underwhelming as a mystery. It's underwhelming as a Christmas movie. It's underwhelming as anything really. I went in excited. And I was even pretty in with the opening, like little thing that we got there about the Stubbins boy, and the bells and the origin and all of that stuff. And then like the movie starts, and I'm like, okay, this is happening. And I don't know. I was left wanting in a lot of different areas, unfortunately. We got to see the girl from Megan again, which is always good. I like her; she's fun. And I like the names in this movie. Stubbins, George Bottoms, like those are fun names. So kudos to the team that came up with those. But aside from that, I don't have a ton that I really, really enjoyed in this, and that's disappointing.
I don't know what we did to deserve this. I had a terrible time. The one positive I can say is that this movie has a very, very small window of people who could enjoy it, and I think it's under 7 years old. But for that crowd, it's rare to find a movie that tells you not to trust the police, and this is one of them. So that is my one positive that I can take away.
It's never too early, Dan.
For this movie is
and you say you're not awoken.
Yeah. This movie's bad, guys. I don't know what in the world this the movie makers have on Beau Bridges. I don't know if they have like some sort of like secret doozy file on him in their pocket.
He was free one day,
Beau Bridges, the venerable Beau Bridges shows up for 3 scenes in this movie, and he's barely awake. I was blown away, and it didn't help. The reason I think this is worse than I Believe in Santa is because I sat down thinking I was going to watch an actual mystery. I sat down going, ooh, fantastic. It's going to be like a murder mystery around Christmas time. Yeah, that's on me. This movie's bad. It is better than the unicorn joint from last week, but that's about all I can say positive.
It is a mystery in the sense of like when you buy one of those clue games that's branded as something like Golden Girls, and so instead of it being a murder, you have to find like who stole the cheesecake. It's that kind of mystery.
Yeah. That's fun.
Let's see if we have any feels, shall we? Alonzo, any feels for you?
Well, as you pointed out, Violet McGraw is the lead here. She's the best thing in it. She's really good in I Believe in Santa, but now I think with Megan, she no longer has to make these movies. So this, I think, will be sort of a mostly forgotten footnote to what promises to be a more interesting career moving out. There were at least a couple moments where I felt like they were trying, like when a dude from The Office shows up and realizes the bells have been stolen. They do that zoom rack focus thing.
They do, yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's an effort. Someone's trying something. I did love the line, "You can't have the ringing of the bells without the bells. It's in the name." That made me laugh. I kind of like the tentative romance between the older siblings that felt, like genuinely sort of, cute and awkward. But to piggyback on what Dan was saying, I think it's never too early for kids to learn, no matter how friendly you are with the local police, no matter how not guilty you are of a crime, when they start asking questions, lawyer, lawyer, lawyer.
That's right.
Don't let them search your garage.
No.
Don't answer questions. You get a lawyer. And
That's
when
right.
you're done watching this, go watch When They See Us on Netflix, and they'll
Yes.
really drive the point home. Lawyer, lawyer, lawyer.
Yeah, I would.
The
I don't
old
know
double
if- I don't
feature,
know if-
the double feature of
I don't know
Christmas
if-
mystery.
And When They See Us and A Christmas Mystery is for the same audience. One of those I bawled crying. The other one I wanted to throw my shoe through the TV. But
I'll let you decide which is which.
both of those do hammer the same point home.
Yeah.
You are right about that.
So in this movie, we get a very unique chase scene of two 8-year-olds on their bikes chasing a guy in a car, and I gotta say, gripping television. It was wild. It was ludicrous. There was, I believe, some of this was shot by someone on a bike behind them, trailing them, like actually going down the stairs with them, camera in hand. Very interesting.
Probably camera like on a helmet or something.
Yes,
GoPro.
but very interesting scene, and one I did not expect. And so that scene was the highlight for me of this movie. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying it somewhat tongue in cheek, but I actually did think for what it was a lot of fun.
I believe the phrase is, I searched high and dry and found nothing.
You guys are mean. If you're not careful, if you guys aren't careful, I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh,
Stop it.
Let me take a break and then I'll come back and I'll see how I feel. But right now I'm not feeling very good about myself. Back to homework.
How are you feeling, buddy?
I show up and I'm wearing a collar shirt and I expect to be treated like a professional.
it's all love.
Yeah.
And I'm digging those rainbow socks. What do you got
They're
going?
just
Yeah,
kind of
look
like,
at these
we got, blue, a yellow,
Okay.
purple, and a sky blue.
Jazzy.
And I do think it kind of goes with my shirt, and I didn't even plan it. We got a
that's
little
really good.
tie in there.
It does.
Thank you. Philo.tv/DTH.
You're missing
Like,
all
oh,
this.
a
good
bunch
night.
here.
Let's do this. Let's talk about the wait what's in this movie. Alonso, I will let you start, and we'll see if by the time we get to the end, we have enough to go around.
I think we can squeeze a few out. Okay. Early on, when the narrator is telling us the story about little Jimmy Stubbins,
Right.
she says that since the finding of Santa's bells, the town has enjoyed 100 years of prosperity and peace. And I'm like, were they having wars with other towns? Like, I get the prosperity. Yes, the mill reopened and the river undroughted or whatever, but like peace. So that just seemed weird. And then, conversely, the second that those bells disappear, I guess we don't get the peace because suddenly everybody's shoplifting and like, doing, being gay and doing crimes. Like there's I was reminded of, when the unicorn goes away and the chickens start freaking out,
That's
the
right.
town
People
loses their
start
mind.
throwing chickens.
Exactly. So yeah, so this town maybe is terrible. So this is going to blow your mind. The scene where a little bratty kid who doesn't believe in Santa, Reggie, thank you, nudges a carpet and that makes a statue almost kill him.
Yeah.
There's an actual product that you put onto art objects so they don't fall off of things, so they stay put and don't shatter in an earthquake or whatever. And get this, it's called museum wax.
Interesting.
This museum, however, has never heard of such a thing, and they've just got big wobbly like stone statues next to slippy slidey carpets where children can just be bumping into them and having their heads crushed at any moment. So yeah, just the idea that not only do they not have the thing that would save it, but that the thing has the word, it's in the name.
It's in
museum
the name.
is in the name, you know.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then the other one that really stood out for me is when Violet sneaks onto her dad's computer so she can track the license plate of the car, and up pops this what just looks like a Microsoft Word window.
They're using Windows Professional 2000. Yeah,
it just has a plate number, colon, and a little box. I'm like, oh, come on, movie. We could try a little bit here. Airtight.
Airtight, yeah. Nothing else left. That's it. Let's call it Merry Christmas.
As someone who relies heavily on candy for survival, I felt so bad for this poor little girl who couldn't have one fun size candy before dinner. Like, okay, Dad, I know you are, I'm Dad, but one fun size. I eat like a lot. I mean, I eat a lot of candy, and guess what? I still eat dinner. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. That's just a personal
to know that I don't let my kids have a candy bar before dinner.
I'm not saying a candy bar.
A fun size one can't do it.
You wouldn't let them.
How close is dinner?
They're still at the police office.
Yeah, if it's over like an hour, then yeah, absolutely.
They're not even home.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, there are things like when my wife is making dinner. Yeah, don't be be snacking.
Yeah, Dan loads them up with sugar at bedtime. That's where you really
that's the key there.
The candy in.
Yeah.
This police vehicle, the one that they have here in this town and movie, also has a luggage rack on top of it, which I didn't understand. Is that a thing? Like
that's where they put all the warrants they don't have or use.
Yeah. You're going to prison for a long time. Pack a bag.
I got a large chuckle out of the pictures that Violet finds of people for her mystery wall, especially the one she has on hand for George Bottoms, which looks like a picture of George Bottoms stumbling out of an Irish pub on St. Patty's Day.
Right.
My guy is gone. Why does she have that picture? Violet? Blackmail? I don't know. Last but not least, they're having the two older the teenagers are talking, and he's like, do you want to talk about your mom? And she says, most people get uncomfortable when I talk about my mom. And I don't know that whole conversation, like what happened to your mom. Most people get uncomfortable. I don't know if I should be, but like what? That's just a weird response.
That is a weird response.
It's a weird response to, hey, tell me about your mom. Most people get uncomfortable when I talk about my mom. I didn't know I was supposed to be, but now I am. Now I'm uncomfortable.
You made it weird.
Now you made it weird, Dano.
Yeah, Bo Bridges plays the mayor in for a very brief moment.
Great, by the way.
But the thing that I couldn't wrap my brain around,
Bo Bridges did it. You monster.
I did think Bo Bridges did it. I thought that's why they had him there. Is that like why? What else would they have Bo Bridges? In this particular town, right outside of Portland, the mayor offices out of the museum, and the election is the day after Christmas. They literally say it's 2 days to Christmas Eve. No, the election's Christmas Day. Because he says the scene after it says it's 2 days to Christmas Eve, he says the election is in 3 days. This town
I didn't even notice that.
holds an election for mayor on Christmas Day. That is crazy. It is legitimately crazy, but that's what we have with Bo Bridges as mayor. We've already talked about it, but the police are just straight profiling in this movie. They have not seen a crime in so long. They're like, somebody stole it. Well, there's a guy that works at the museum that stole something before. Guess we're going to go in his house without a warrant and do a perp walk with him in front of his daughter. Like, do we have any proof? Of course we don't have any proof. But you know what? We're going to search your house. We're going to cuff you up, and we're going to walk you out in broad daylight so your friends and family can see that you're still a criminal, because that's how we do our job. I couldn't get over that scene. I couldn't get over they wouldn't like take the time to get a warrant or find some sort of like something first, right?
Well, they did find the empty
after they're searching the house.
Yes, but he does invite them in.
It's like vampires, you know.
Once again,
not
kids.
for search. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They did a lot.
Yes, a lot. They go to pretty great lengths to make Oscar from The Office look like the bad guy. I like when I say red herring, I mean, this thing is bright neon. Like, this is like the herring is the whole screen. They're like, well, how do we make him look shady? What if 30-year-old Cadillac, leather trench coat, fedora? What if you pick one of those three, movie? I think we'll get it. You pick one of those three. They spun the wheel and said, do all three. We're going to go old Cadillac, leather trench coat, fedora, one person.
He's maybe in the clear about this money and the charity, but like he's doing other stuff.
Up to something.
His extracurriculars, right?
Gotta be.
It also seems strange that for one, usually, I mean, I don't have a lot of knowledge here about this, but I think when one nonprofit organization is making a contribution to another nonprofit organization, it is not greenbacks in a manila envelope.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you want a paper trail there somehow.
Here's the secret drop for the money for the children.
I also got
in the orphanage to eat.
And why is he like counting this money and putting it in envelopes in front of this girl who's asking him? I cannot stop for you.
No. This movie and this guy reminds people that he coached basketball more than I do. He like, they know that this is central. This is central to the mystery. And so no less than a half dozen times do they pepper in, well, you know, I coached basketball, or, you know, he coached basketball. Like, yeah, stop hitting us over the head with it, for crying out loud.
Well, like, now you know how we feel.
Yeah, of course.
Apparently, he has to keep saying it because the younger kid doesn't have any memory of this, so he's like clearly mementoing this information.
Yeah,
and it's just like not sticking.
It's memento. Now that would make a more interesting movie if the kid had that. I've got two. I'll save one for the HBO. No, you didn't. And then the other one. I will say this.
Grody to the max.
That's right. This little girl is really, really smart, and she's figuring all these clues that the cops just can't piece together with their two brain cells. But then at some point, she has what everyone would consider a mountain of circumstantial evidence. The shoes, the camera footage, all of this stuff, right? And they said, well, don't you want to go now to the police? And she's like, no, we can't trust them. We got to find the bells first, which makes sense if her dad wasn't the sheriff/chief of police. If you have the amount of information she has, you should go to your father with that information, right?
I think the reason for that is that she already blew it with Oscar from The Office, and so she doesn't want to come make another accusation until she has opened the little envelope in the middle of the clue board.
It's a girl who cries wolf situation.
Exactly.
I thought she had more than enough to go to her dad, who's in charge of the police, but I guess not.
I see your point.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
HBO, no, you didn't. We're talking about any questions that we still have. Alonzo.
Yeah, as you're absolutely right, Daniel. The police work here is incredibly shoddy, and at the end of the movie, Mr. Bottom's like, "Oh, I understand," and I want the sequel. Where half an hour later, is like, "Oh, wait, I'm suing the bricks off of you."
Yeah.
I'm suing the bells out of this town for wrongful arrest and everything, the perp walk and all that stuff.
I'm pretty sure he was held in a cell without a charge for 48 to 72 hours. And at the end of it, he shakes the chief of police hand and is like, good on you. You did what you had to. Thanks for keeping everybody safe. Bing, bang, bong.
I just want to point out that literally worst case scenario, he stole bells. Like, what's the max on that?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Well, right now it's looking like 3 straight days in a cell without indictment.
No charge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's room for a sequel where he is suing the cops while the cop's daughter becomes basically Veronica Mars.
Yeah. The young one. It's a prequel.
I don't hate that at all. I want to know kind of how the bells work, because here's something about the bells here. They never leave town, right? The bells are just hidden. Okay.
Yeah,
so do the bells have to be on display in order to work their magic, or would a Pleasant Bay still go on in its peaceful way, no wars breaking out?
That's right.
Because the bells are still technically in town.
Yeah.
In a vault somewhere. That's it.
They're not only are they still in town, they are technically still in a glass case.
Oh, that's true. Even when
Yeah.
they're stolen, you've really opened a Pandora's box.
It's almost like the movie's unnecessary.
Well, but then why is everybody shoplifting then? If they
Yeah.
can't see the bells,
Something I don't know. It's all maybe these bells aren't as magical as I think they are.
You may your synopsis was a masterpiece, and I may have been laughing too hard. Did you say the reason that he does this is in part because he was fired as an assistant basketball coach? Yeah. Okay, just making sure, because I forgot that my weight was.
And he wanted his dad to be proud of him.
Yeah, this guy held a grudge from being fired as an assistant basketball coach at the high school level.
Yes,
nailed it.
Well, because Johnny Bottoms, George Bottoms, coach basketball.
Yeah, we did know that. I do have one HBO No You Didn't, and it is very, very simple. They establish the heck out of this movie taking place outside of Portland. In fact, they used the Shanghai tunnels, which are a legitimate part of Portland's history when the British would come and impress people into becoming sailors for their army, for their navy. That is, like, they're in Portland. Why
Oregon license plates?
Yes. Why is all the news from Seattle? Every time there's news, it's only from Seattle. Is Seattle like, dude, Portland done screwed up again. We got to get down there to show how bad Portland is and how good Seattle is. They never show any Portland news. It's in Portland, but all the news is Seattle. And I think it's a pretty big issue for the movie. Like, why did they do that?
Oregon has TV stations, you guys.
Don't buy into the hype.
How'd you know that it was Seattle? Did it just say Seattle?
Seattle News. In fact, it did.
Seattle.
Yeah, maybe it's a news company called Seattle.
Yeah, maybe they're based out of Portland, though.
Yeah.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Another one down. Another one coming up next week. We're heading over to Prime Video for Something from Tiffany's. Something from Tiffany's.
Okay.
And I said, let's get something from Tiffany's. Come on, guys. Can't wait for that one. Alonzo, great to see you. Dan,
always a pleasure, sir.
Saw you. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.